Elon has, is it Matt Taibbi? Is that how you pronounce
Yes.
his
Mhm.
name?
Yes,
You
correct.
nailed it.
He's a legit dude.
Independent reporter. Yep.
I'm so good at butchering names, so that's why I always
No, that was good.
Shout out to Matt Taibbi.
But he said on Friday, the first installment of Twitter files were published on his Twitter profile. He said, we expected to publish more over the weekend. Many wondered why there was a delay. He says that we can now tell you that a part of the reason why on Tuesday, Twitter deputy counsel and former FBI general counsel Jim Baker was fired. Among the reasons, vetting the first batch of Twitter files without the knowledge of new management. The process for producing the Twitter files involves a delivery in two journalists, Barry Weiss via a lawyer close to new management. However, the final initial batch, things became complicated. If you guys recall, Elon talked about this when he said he was going to release these files about the Biden case and stuff like that. And then there was like this delay, right? He says, oh, it's going to be 40 minutes, ended up turning into like 3 hours. Yes. And then our very own Brandon, aka at the Real Data Lord, and ended up going live and releasing those as well, and just kind of reacting to the overall Twitter files themselves. But now there is a second, I guess, a part two, part D to this. Over the weekend, he said, while we both dealt with obstacles to new searches, it was Barry Weiss who discovered that the person in charge of releasing the files was someone named Jim. When she called to ask Jim's last name, the answer came back, Jim Baker. He said that my jaw hit the floor. The first batch of the files both reporters received was marked Spectra Baker emails. Baker is a controversial figure. He has been something of a zealot of FBI controversies dating back to 2016 from the Steele dossier at the Alpha server mess. He resigned in 2018 after an investigation into leaks from the press. The news that Baker was reviewing the Twitter files surprised everyone involved, to say the least. The new Twitter chief executive officer Elon Musk acted quickly to exit Baker Tuesday. That was a quote, exit Baker.
Yeah.
Reporters
on the screen.
Yeah. So here is some of his tweets. He says, reporters resume searches through the Twitter files material. A lot of it today. Next installment of Twitter files will appear, and to stay tuned. So we may end up actually reacting to this, because this whole story has been absolutely insane. And you might be asking yourself, well, why are we talking about this on DCTV? Well, because decentralized isn't just financial. It's just related to financial. And I think that this actually applies as well. I mean, we're not talking about one side or the other. We're talking about corruption on either side of the aisle. This isn't just Trump versus Biden, left versus right. This is a really serious thing, in my opinion, on just how deep this goes. Now the FBI is being brought into view here, which is crazy, because I have family that was in the FBI, and I'm sure they had no idea that any of this was going on. So it's definitely a select few.
There's different pockets in our bureaucracies, though. There's people who are literally investigating like elderly abuse and child abuse cases. Yes. And then there's people who are doing their own agenda thing that they were paid to do. And not everyone's privy to that, unfortunately.
Yeah. And why is this all important is because Twitter is supposed to be a town square where anybody from anywhere can be able to communicate.
Well, that's Elon's vision.
Yes. Well, I think initially
it was Jack Dorsey's vision.
Jack Dorsey's
at the very beginning, until all of a sudden you had this gang, and it doesn't matter what side. I mean, the fact that things were starting to be filtered out to where the narrative was starting to lean one way or the other, and squelching a part of the town square community where they could not of course, and we want to keep life, property, and liberty, honor it always, so respect without hurting community members, truly threatening them. So you always want to have a balance in the communication. Well, that balance was taken to the point where now you start squelching a certain area or group of people that can no longer speak freely without, of course, hurting physically, respecting the laws of the Constitution. So that's what's being brought to here. So now they discovered that one of the people or team members that were supposed to now release those files is now the guy that was supposed to release the next the clear batch, what was being squelched. Well, you can only imagine to the surprise. And I remember someone calling out to Elon or to the community saying, hey, this is the same guy that was part of the squelching is now releasing this. And that's where they said, we just found out this weekend what occurred. So by Tuesday, he was gone. This is a very important thing where Elon continues to follow the correct path of opening and creating that transparency. Every single time we come to these issues that we suffer as an American society is the lack of transparency.